Let's start with the homework file, a homework project, sorry. So I will go to my media pool, okay, and then turn on my media pool, go to my media tab right here, okay. One way to import files also in Davinci is instead of going to your traditional route where you would select all your videos, so on and so forth, and then drag them to the media pool, is simply click and drag them from your browser, all right, from your from the actual Finder. Okay, so let's do that real quick, and or we can just do it traditional way. It looks like this one is not cooperating here. All right, let me just go to there we go. Okay, so in Windows we call it File Explorer. I think that's what we still call it, or My Computer. All right, and on a Mac it's Finder, of course, and you can just simply drag them to the media pool, right? So if I just have all this selected and drag them to the media pool, it will start asking me this. So this is an important question right here. It says, would you like to change your timeline frame rate in video format to match? Okay, we haven't done video format, okay, but this simply tells you that whatever default format Davinci is using, what I'm trying to use, they don't match. So meaning more than likely Davinci Resolve defaults to HD resolution. It is the format that you're editing. However, I'm bringing in footage that's small. They're SD. So Davinci is asking, hey, would you like to change the format in the edit to match the footage you're bringing in? Okay, which is a really nice detection, because if you don't, let's say you didn't have this feature, right? And you just drag a smaller resolution format to your high resolution format, what's going to happen is while you're editing, it will look like fine. When you export it, you would see this gigantic border, black border around your edit, because you are trying to use a high resolution frame and small photos. Basically what it is. It doesn't match. So the correct answer each time you see this one and you do want it to match your frame is to click change. Okay, we'll have this lesson again on as a separate by itself, but I just want to address that real quick because some of you will use this as a practice, and then you will encounter this issue right here. So basically you want to change Davinci's default format to match the footage you're bringing in. So I'm going to click change right here, and voila, they're there. And then we're going to bring in sound as well. So I'm going to bring in the sound. There's quite a few here. So what I'll do is, yeah, I'm just going to bring them in here and then make my bin right here to separate them. So bin is for video. Okay, first video, and then here I'm going to make another bin for audio. I'm going to click to the master bin. So I'm going to select all these, drag them into the video. We're just kind of Martha Stewarting stuff here, putting everything where it's supposed to be. Okay, so it just makes it easier for us when we go to our edit right here. So we're not using this particular project for our continuity, not yet. This is just footage we're going to use to make our kind of like an iTunes menu or DVD menu. Okay, so we need we're going to incorporate also the crop and transform that we use. Okay, so we're going to make it maybe 4 rows of video. Okay, so I'm going to need 4 videos that we're going to use for this project. So let's take a look on the first one, preview it real quick. Okay, all right, so we just need the videos right here. We don't need the audio because we're going to use music. All right, so how do we trim videos? So we know one way for sure is to click and drag them into the time. Well, you can trim them in the timeline, right? So if I drop this in here, okay, and then let's say I'm going to zoom out a bit. Okay, and I want to trim the beginning until the slate goes away, I can do that right there. So, and then let's say I want this one until the camera kind of pans up all the way right there, and then trim. All right, so this way, oh, I have an angry cat with me. So now this is trimmed only to that part, right? But we're using the timeline, all right? So I'm going to show you another way to do it. So if you double click one of these files, you're previewing it here, okay? Your timeline is over here, and you just want to, in a way, trim it up to when the slate disappears right there. You can do, and then the slate person is out of frame, right? There we go. Okay, right there. You can mark this in. Okay, so in edit, we call the trimming part is the mark in, and then of course the counterpart is mark out. The keyboard shortcut is the letter I for in. So if I just click this button, mark in, or I press I on my keyboard, it marks it in. Okay, I don't know if you can notice right here, it's a slightly more pronounced line now, and it's a little bit grayed over there, right? So if I move my playhead or tap the space bar, there you go, I mark it in right there. So let's say I want to get the video all the way until the camera goes up and shows her shoes, and she's about to pivot and turn. Okay, let's say I want to stop right there. I can click this button right here, or press O for mark out. Okay, and if I play my video now, you'll see that this portion of the video is marked in and marked out or trimmed. Okay, so if I drag this now, all I get is that portion of the video. Okay, as opposed to, let's say, if I'm gonna untrim everything in here, so I'm gonna press mark out right here, go all the way here, mark in. So if I drag this video, which is untrimmed, that's the original link. You see the difference. Okay, so to mark in and out, it's simply I and O. Okay, and of course we know what these two buttons will do. Dragging just the video or the film button right here will only give you the video, and if you click the waveform button, click and drag, not click, sorry, click and drag, you get audio only. Okay, so for our purpose, we don't want any audio because we'll use a song for our looping kind of video DVD menu. Okay, so first let's kind of clean up what we bring in, right? So I want to use this for sure because it's just we only have a few, but I do want the slate person to be out of there. Maybe it starts right there. Okay, and then I'm gonna bring this for video layer 1. All right, and let's click this to kind of zoom everything all, and we're not too concerned about the end right here. We want to get at least 30 seconds of loop. Okay, so right there, ignore the hour, like explained before. Okay, and we can go very precise here. So if I want just 30 seconds and I still have 5 frames, I can zoom in and manipulate my playhead to be precise, but it's really not the best way. You can actually type in a time code to jump, but let's use our shortcuts here. Okay, so if you look at your keyboard, you have your 4 arrow keys, up, down, left, and right. Okay, let's do the up down first. If I'm clicking up right now on my keyboard and down arrow, it just jumps to per cut. So in this case, since there's no other cuts here, it's just the beginning and end. But if I drag, let's say, a video clip and put it over here, and I go up on my keyboard or down, as you can see, just position the playhead to the cuts in the timeline. Okay, press delete on that one. All right, so let's go back to our 30 seconds. So if you want to be precise, your left and right arrow goes 1 frame forward and 1 frame back. So you can be very precise that you want to be 30 seconds. Okay, while this is positioned here at 30 seconds, then I can drag this and lower that. I'm not sure if we have 30 seconds for all the videos, but let's just aim for our menu to be 30 seconds at least. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the next one right here, maybe the actual fight. Okay, they're already fighting in here, so I'm just gonna go right there. There's no slate, so I'll use that. And then time code wise, I don't know if we have enough in here, so we'll probably go for footage where there's some footage in there that we can use. All right, right there. I'm gonna press I, okay, and then drag this up here. Doesn't have enough, but I'm gonna go right there. Let's just see if we have enough for maybe 3 of these. All right, maybe not enough variations on the video, but we'll see. Let's see this one, how long this footage is. Maybe on this one there's enough on the fighting. Okay, looks like here they're just not fighting anymore, so let's make an out mark right here and then bring this instead. All right, so it's definitely not enough on that one, but that's fine. We'll get the point on the edit. And here, all right, this might actually work. Okay, mark out right there and drag the video. Oh, it's almost the same kind of length. Okay, that's fine. So that's probably, and let's trim this. Okay, we'll just use this kind of back to back to make up our time right here. All right, and then maybe this one. Let's see. All right, there's some fighting in there. I'm gonna mark out right there and then bring just the video. All right, let's see if this will enough. All right, we just don't want to see that same kind of look for this first video, so I'm gonna trim it as much as I can here. All right, I don't think we'll have enough for 30 seconds, so I'll just cut this to whatever length that is. All right. Okay, so the top, we replay this. It's just kind of this random kind of image, kind of typical what you see in those menus, where sometimes you actually get to see some spoilers, which makes it a little bit interesting. Okay. All right. All right, so they're not in any precise editing or whatnot, so it's just kind of, all right, I think actually 10 seconds would do. So let's just, yeah, let's just simplify this. It's gonna go here until they go like that, and I'm gonna trim this. You'll get the point if we make this a little bit shorter right here. All right, so they're all playing at the same time. Just gonna look real quick. All right, that's the first video. That's video layer 3, so I'm gonna turn that off so we see video layer 2. Okay, of course it needs some cropping right here for letterboxing. It's for panoramic shot. And number 3, video layer 1. Okay, there it is. All right, so we got these 3 videos happening at the same time, and our running time right now it's about 8 seconds right there, 7:14. Okay. All right, that should be enough to kind of do our thing, or maybe stretch this a bit. Let's see how much we can stretch it. Maybe at least get 10 seconds. Yeah, I think we can do 10 seconds or close to it. All right, and then just extend this a little bit. There you go. I think we're getting about 9 seconds. All right, so now let's incorporate the previous lesson, which is the cropping and transform. All right, so let's start with the first one, since we could see, it's the thing we could see right here. We're going to go to cropping, double click cropping to reveal the context right there. And then I'm going to do, let's preview where most of the action is. So pretty much centered right there. We could probably concentrate on her. Okay, so I'm going to crop this a little bit right there and then crop right. Okay, and then position X. There we go. So go all the way right there. Okay, then we can put that softness border, kind of cheesy, but we can do that. All right, on this one, definitely crop it right there. And I'm gonna go a little bit thicker on that border a bit, so I'm gonna leave that right there. And I'm just kind of eyeballing this. You can be precise by going through the numbers. And then the last one here, we definitely need to move the crop a little bit, so I'm gonna turn this off, those two, and crop this also right here, move, show a little bit of the right there. Let's see what happens when she gets up. Okay, we never get to see it, so it looks like she's just concentrating on praying right there. So I'm going to go position X, push this all the way to the right. Okay, turn this 2 on. All right, there's a little bit of difference right here. This one needs less crop, right? Okay, so let's say that's good enough. Okay, let's take a look. We play this. All those 3 videos are happening at the same time. Not the most exciting footage right here because it's just standing. All right, so let's say we can do something about that. So if I go here, I want to slide all this. I want to keep the length the same. I'm going to use my trim edit mode, which is some sort of slide. So I'm going to go in there and then see. As you can see here, I'm going through the inside of the video, but I'm trying to see if there's any interesting shots where she's just not standing. All right, we start seeing it. As you can see, this tool is great where it keeps your trim exactly the same, but you scroll or slide in the video content. All right, right there. So at least our video doesn't just start at her just at the bottom and then she start fighting. Maybe that's a good start right there where she turns around. I'm going to try and push that at the beginning right there. That's assuming you have enough footage here at the end, right? I mean, you can scroll all you want or slide all you want, but if there's no interesting content, I think they're just getting warmed up on the fighting here. It's really bad, but anyway, that's besides the point. Okay, so we got that in there. All right, and let's say we're gonna use the really cheesy. I'm gonna go back to my move tool here and select, give this a little softness, maybe kind of go in, so kind of give it that kind of very organic and it has a natural cropping already, which is pretty bad, but anyway. All right, right there. So let's say we went with some extra cheese and let's see. All right, so that's our cropping. Okay, now we're going to put those text. All right, so to do that, we're going to go to our effects library. Okay, I'm going to save this real quick just in case I crash here, okay, which I hope we don't. And then effects library again, I'm going to click that. And then I'm going to go to generators. Okay, generators are basically pre-made generated images. Okay, solid color is what we want. Okay, and then I'm going to lower my portion of the audio right here to give me a little bit more headroom here for the text and the solid color. I'm also going to push this up a little bit. The timeline, I'm going to shrink my area for my video and I get more option here. I'm also going to go to my timeline option, lower my video track so that it's a little bit lower and I have more space in here. So I'm going to go with solid color, bring it over here. By default, I think this is also 5 seconds and it just simply blocks the entire thing, which is fine. We're going to bring the length of that to the length of the edit, and you can see it's all just black in here. However, if we go with our transform and composite, we can change the opacity so you can reveal it. And then we're also going to do the crop top and bottom. All right, so by doing that, we kind of made this rectangular figure, and so that we can put our text on top and they just don't, it looks like they have a place to put all this stuff, right? So the first thing we're going to do is go back to titles and then text, bring the text over here, grab the link all the way, or there, it doesn't matter for now. Okay, and then we'll just change the content here. So let's go with play, change the impact, because that's, we know for sure will be noticed. You'll see it. Impact. Okay, and then Definitely some drop shadow offset. All right. And while it's there, we just go to our transform and we can just go with the X and go with a Y and put it over there. Okay. So now for the rest, we can just copy and paste this. Okay. So while this is selected, I'm going to do Command C or Control C, depending on which system you're working. And then park it at the end right here. I'm going to do Control V. Okay, so I got another one, exact replica of that one. I'm going to put it over here. This one is going to be my, let's say we call it extra or scenes. Okay, scenes. So you can jump through scenes. There it is. It's on the exact same position because remember, it's a copy of play. So I'm going to go with X right here, kind of put it right there. Okay, then go back here again. I'm going to press Command V or Control V to paste the previous one. Bring that back up. And then on this one, we can put extras. All right, and then go to Video tab right here. Well, this one select and then position this for that. All right, let's just watch this real quick. It's not done yet. Close it. There you go. And of course, since we didn't put that all the way, they kind of ended right there. So you don't want that. And then DVD menus, they loop. So it don't matter. They just end abruptly and then it starts over again. So we're going to extend those. Okay. So one way to kind of spice it up a bit, even though it's really cheesy. Let me just kind of position that. That's kind of my OCD is kicking in, or got to center that a little bit. Let's say we want to stagger their entrance. Okay, so we want extra to show up last, so we can put that like so, and then scenes, and then play a little bit so it doesn't show at the very beginning. So if we play this, one shows up. All right, right there. So they're probably way off with the timing. So going to bring them in a little bit closer, and we can also soften their entrance by fading the text. So now we approach it like so. All right, so this is kind of like your pretend iTunes menu or DVD menu or whatever you want to call it. It's not interactive though. This is just the video that's playing in the back, and that's what's happening. All right, so let's say if that thing is driving you nuts because there's an actual it's not there's an actual crop that's kind of missing there. So we can do solid color here. We can copy that, and then while the playhead is at the very back, Command V to paste it. We can put this one on top. Okay, let's change the opacity to solid, and then let's just move this up. Oops, said up, not okay. So let's say we want to letterbox it. There we go. Copy this, Command C, Command V to paste it. Now we're going to put one at the bottom. So we might have to position this a little bit different. All right, so let's see. Just so that it's a little bit evened out, so we don't see that really annoying and it's not matching, so I didn't look at my number, but you can just fix that yourself. Okay, so that would complete your homework. So this will reinforce what we've learned with transform and cropping, text, drop shadow, some generators, and a little bit of lesson in and outs, all right, or mark in and mark out. Okay.